first off, this is so cool for me to be able to sit down with you. I wish we could did this in person, and we will.
Okay. Okay.
This will not be the only time that I sit and talk with you about the journey.
Okay.
But Tony Pearson, you are someone that was relevant to me when I discovered what I wanted to do with my life. I
Ooh,
got to watch you on ESPN
okay.
back in the day, and I got to see you pose and compete. Peaceful warrior. I got to see you compete and do what you do. Um, I guess that was 78, 79.
Oh wow. We're going way
Yeah.
back. We're going way back.
Yeah, we're jumping way back, kid. And I saw you, and I was that impressionable kid. I call it an ignorant bliss, which I still have today, and I love because I saw what you were doing, and I go, that there is something I'm gonna do. Um, and I grew up in very much a family of martial artists and football and wrestling and stuff
Oh,
like that.
okay.
And I'm like, I'm taking this to another level. I want to be show and go.
Right.
And watching you do that and win and compete and show your art piece to the world, I was like, this is something I have to be involved in. And so thank you from me to you on setting that little kid up that I still believe I am today, um, to chase the journey of the art piece of the physique of what we call bodybuilding to the world. But to me, it's an art piece. It's the Michelangelos of today creating something.
Exactly. It's a piece of art. Well, I'm glad I inspired you. I mean, we all have somebody that inspires us. So, I had Muhammad Ali. So, so it's always somebody that you say, "Oh man, I just want to be like that guy." I really appreciate that. So it's an honor.
Absolutely. It's it was cool too because I found out later through the years and decades, we'll say decades of getting to know you and others that I looked at, that there was a quote my dad said to me when I was very young. He says, "To be the best, you have to be the greatest. You have to be the best, right, at your sport. But
Right.
to stay on top is character." And I thought that was very interesting. And as a young kid, I wasn't smart enough to understand what that meant. But then I got to meet these guys that I grew up to and their characters. And I could see why they separated themselves from others.
Hmm.
And there's that moment when we're in our teens and 20s that we're on stage and we destroy the competition. But there's such a small amount of people that are at seasoned as you are, or Robbie, or Zane,
Hmm.
that are still doing it. And it's the characters of who you guys are to me is that's why you're still in the creative mode. The passion is still there to create this physique. Could you, in your own way, tell us how is it possible to stay committed for as long as you have?
It's love. You got to love what you do. Um, and to me, it was a fight. I was just trying to prove something to other people too, because the naysayers always whispering at you. It's never going to happen. So you just as well. I just keep your mouth shut and go and do your work and see what happens on stage. I lasted 20 years, up there and just kind of walked away from it. But I still do it. I came back a couple of times recently and competed. It's just love. You enjoy what you do. You got to love bodybuilding because if you don't, you're going to burn out. You're not going to survive it. It's a hard sport. It's a lonely sport. You got to sacrifice everything in life for it. So it's something. It's a passion that you dream about, you enjoy doing. I've lost more shows than I won, but I just keep coming back because it wasn't really about always winning. It was trying to be the best. I want to be the best performer on stage too. So it's a combination of all those things. You said art. Bodybuilding is art because you're sculpting yourself. Before I compete, I have a vision of what I want to look like, and that's the goal. And sometimes to get that look, you almost die for it because you're starving to death. You're training twice a day. You go 20 weeks twice a day training. You cut it right out of your life, but just to get that look, you go on stage and says, "Yes, I achieved what you might not win, but you did the best that you could do." So that's yeah, it's I still love it. I'm turning, my age. I'll be mid way 60s coming up soon, but I still love it. I still go to the gym. I still work out. Have I lost size? Yes. I mean, because I said, why carry extra 15, 20 pounds of muscle when I'm not back on stage? What about my health now? So it's more about my health, but I still enjoy going to the gym. Those are good moments. I can go in there and just put my little hood on and train like the old days. In my head, I'm still 30, and you don't age, because if you start thinking old, you become old. So I just do my little squat, deadlifts, bench press, whatever I can do.
You took it to another level. I'm going to bring it down a little bit, because I want these people to understand when I asked you about kept it in, and you went right to the point of where you went and battled people on stage. You're not just this guy, hey, I'm in shape. You're not Michael Hearn, just in shape in the gym. You're on stage competing, throwing down with these guys. Again, I go back to that peaceful warrior mentality that you want the tussle, you want that second level to it, and that kind of keeps that fire alive. I got a question for you. For those people out there that maybe won't get on stage, I try to express that it's what you said. It's that you love it, and there's a statement that you said is that you need to fight, and I love that, because and we don't age, because every day I walk into the gym, I'm still that 14-year-old that walked into the gym and competed for the first time. I feel like that every time, and it is the fight that we like. Can you express what that is? Why do we torture ourselves? Why do we diet that hard? Why do we train that hard? And what is this fight that we're dealing with? Is that a chip on the shoulder that we should just let go?
It's not a chip on the shoulder. It's just, it's a passion. It gets in your blood. It's in your head. You live for it, you want to be the best that you can be. And it's a lot of work, because genetically I had a good structure, but I didn't have any muscle size. So I had to work 10 times hard. I had no legs. I had no chest. I had no triceps, but I built it. If you look at some pictures of mine, I put everything together. I completed the full body. All body parts was matching. The tie-in, small waist, the hips, everything. But that's work. That's just work. And people go, oh, you look so okay. But they don't understand, when I go to train and work out, there's a master plan. I look that way for a reason. Every cut, every striation you see, I created. It's kind of like Frank Zane. He created this physique of his, upside down, upright rows, off the wall stuff. It's just a combination of things, but instinctively you start to learn your own body. I trained with Robert Robinson for a long time as well. He taught me so much. I'm training back in St. Louis, George Turner, thanks for him, rest in peace. He taught me a lot, but then I worked on myself. I got rid of the training partners. I didn't train the pros anymore. I moved to Atlanta and I trained by myself with Superman Blunt down there. And we just kind of mastered myself. When I went back to LA, I said, oh man, you changed a lot. Yeah, we were doing squats, training twice a day like crazy people. It was fun to me. It wasn't like work. I didn't feel like, oh God, I gotta go to the gym today. I can't wait to get to the gym. I'm like kicking the door in, let's go, let's go, let's go. And as soon as you put the weight down, I got to pick the weight up, because I got to keep moving. Yes, so it was fun. We would train like crazy people and then go eat as much as we can and go fall asleep. And the train, eat, sleep.
So full-time bodybuilder is what we call it over here.
So it was never a job. It was never painful. It was never like, oh God, I want to do it. Was I injured sometimes? Yeah, my knee still hurts. Had a whole career on a bum knee. So, but it didn't stop me. I still squatted 400 pounds, lunge and leg press, 1,000 pounds. You just continue to do it. At the end, yes, I feel a little bit beat up, because you pay a price for it. All athletes do. And of course, the diet takes a lot out of you. You got to be disciplined with the diet, because that's key. If you're not in shape, you can train all you want.
Don't jump down too much. You got decades of living in the trenches and knowing this stuff. I got to slow you down, because they're gonna miss the bites that you're giving here. And just for you, everybody that's watching this right now, and you're learning something that I speak about, and I love that it's somebody else saying this, is that it's not work. We love it. And I can feel the passion, and I always have with you. it didn't matter training once or twice a day. You get to do it. You don't have to do it. You get to do it, and you
Right.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're still a kid, and we're not spring chickens no more, but we are spiritually. We were still those kids that love to go in there and just destroy the weights
Yeah.
and do that. And I think it's so cool that you said that even at your age, and we are seasoned, I get it, but we're still in the fight and we still love it. And it wasn't the motivation, it was the passion and love. And you took it to a whole nother level too. You didn't just, there wasn't just one aspect for you. You when you're on stage, you have this piece of art that you created, this Michelangelo David sculpture, but then you showed it in another way that so few ever did. Some guys went, yeah, but you're up here and you're flowing and entertaining the audience. And I just remember, I think it was you guest posed up at in Washington State when I was still a pup, and I was watching you, and I was just like, wow, he has the physique, but he has this way of showing the physique that just made it another depth to who you are. What goes through getting ready to get on stage and show that performance?
Well, posing is an art, and you are the piece of art. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of rehearsal time getting those poses together, transitioning from one. Once again, I had some really good coaches to teach me how to pose. I learned very quickly. You show me once, I got it. So you transition from one pose. I was the worst poser ever, because the first time I hit a pose for George Turner, he said, my grandmother can pose better than that. So, so I come a long way, but I spent a lot of time working on my poses because I realized I'm not the biggest guy on stage. So I got to show something unique and different. I got to draw some attention to myself. So the back poses, the vacuum pose, the crush, the lat spread, and all these crazy things. It's just something you create. You create yourself. You redo yourself. I stole a little bit from Zane. I stole a little bit from Robbie. I take a little bit and then try to make it my own. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah.
You're a performer. When you come on stage, you're not verbally talking to people, but your face expression, your movement, your transition is talking to people. And the louder they get, the more intense you get on your posing. It's like you give them what they want.
Yeah, I think you said it there. It's like you are performing and you aren't speaking with words, and that's the coolest thing, I think, is when you're doing that. And when I watch individuals, I could see them speaking even when they're lifting. I'm like, oh, I know what he's thinking. I know where they're going with this set. I know what's going on in the mind. And it's the same as like when you're on stage and you're posing. It's cool to see somebody speak so loudly,
right,
without using voice.
You don't need words.
And in today's world, everybody uses their voice and says, it's everything. Everybody has their opinion. Everybody has their thing. And I go back to the people that are that old school mentality of get the work in. Like you said, it's not easy.
No.
And it's not easier. It was much easier for you in your 20s than it is now.
Oh God, yes.
But you're still doing the work.
Right. I still figure out how to do stuff. I have a lot of history behind me and I know how it's done. Some exercises I can't do anymore, but I still do enough to maintain. And I mean, I know what I'm doing because I know how to.
You're not maintaining. Let's throw that out the window. You're not maintaining. You're minimizing the decline.
Yeah.
And you're one of the greatest to ever do this for the period that you've been doing this. It's not like, I mean, you've been here for a long time and you're still up here at the top. And
50 years.
Yeah. And it wasn't because you saw some meme on Instagram back in the 50s and 60s like I did. It's like, oh, that's why I'm pushing it, because I heard somebody speak once and that just fired me up to go. It doesn't work that way. There was something that lit in you early, as a teenager, and you were done. You were like, this is the journey.
You can't let go. You're hooked.
And I said something earlier, and I think that everybody has a chip when they're young, the naysayers and all this stuff. And I like my chip that I used it in the right way, and I
Mhm.
didn't let it destroy me. I let it build me. Is there anything that you happened as a youngster that you used in the positive way instead of it going, could you have gone one way instead of the way that you went?
No, because when you always tell me what I can't do, that's when I'm going to show you that I can do, and I'm not going to go anywhere. I always felt that they kind of wanted me to just go away. Could this guy just go away? But I refused to go away. So they placed me really low. And I said, keep coming back, smile on my face, still do my show. I was performing. And it was a job as well. You get exhibitions and seminars, so that kept you moving forward. But I just kept doing it. The negative energy just gave me more energy. That's all it did. I thank for inspiring me. That's what I would say. Okay, I go back to the gym. I just lost a show. Now I got to wait another year to try to win that show. And that's when you just train even harder. Just take it to the next level. With your mouth shut. Don't complain. Don't be a complaining and crying about it. Just do the work. Come back bigger and better. That's all you can do.
Where'd that come from?
Well, that comes from my childhood. I don't know if you know anything about my childhood.
I want the world to know. I would like you to explain this to us.
Okay. When my dad gave me away, and I was living with my great auntie, and I hate to tell you this on live on TV, but I was tortured from 3 years old. I was almost burned alive over the stove, and so never had a childhood, and I was secluded away. I never had friends. I was isolated, and something inside of me just was fighting to live, because kids, you want to die because there's no escape from this crazy woman. I was in the cotton field. I was picking cotton when I was 6, 7, 8 years old for like 10 years of that. And it just hardens you. It toughens you. You know what hard work means, and the threat of being tortured every day. So I just kind of used that energy. And I think God was working through me, because I yelled out to him one day at 10 years old, God, why do I have to live through this? You don't pick your parents. It's whoever who raises you. And I was unfortunate to have my great auntie, which my dad gave me away. So no one knows this story. I don't know if I could talk about this. Could I talk about this?
This is what's important, I think.
Okay, so my dad gave me away because he didn't want me. My mom ran away because I just say he was gonna kill her. She was very convinced of that. So like I said, I'm stuck with this great auntie, and the 12 years of my life, the first 10, 12 years of my life, it was torture, it was hell. But somehow that instilled in me hard work, determination, just do the work. She always said, you take nothing from no one, you ask for nothing, you just do the work. So I thought when I got to California, if I just did the work and I looked better, I'm going to win. So that was my mindset at that point too. Yeah, so it was tough. I wrote a book, my memoir, Driven. So here's a copy of the book, Driven. That's the little 3-year-old kid on the cover. So it's about my life growing up down south, and survival. Just trying to survive.
They could
And
also watch that was turned into something with Generation Iron. Is that correct?
yes, it's a documentary, Driven, the Tony Pearson story. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Apple TV. You can get it on Vudu. It's everywhere.
We'll put the links up there again for you guys, because this is really one of those things I think everybody should see, because all they see, and is this incredibly good-looking, charming man with an incredible physique. So incredible, it's the pinnacle of what we try to achieve in bodybuilding, and they don't know the backstory, and they don't know the hardship. And I think really it's that hardship that you had as a youngster is set you up because you used it in a good way for you.
Yes, and a lot of people would turn that in a negative way because they're angry. They feel the world's turned against them. They're never going to survive, so they end up taking drugs and going to jail or dead. And bodybuilding saved my life. I have to tell you this, because without bodybuilding, I didn't have anything to fall back on. I didn't have anywhere to go, and I fell in love with the sport. there's a lot of kids who are in trouble today. You know, with suicide is the highest it's ever been. Uh, Kids are, taking drugs, and they're looking for help. They're looking for help, somebody to help, and no one's listening to the kids. So I'm advocating for kids that it's okay. You can tell somebody. I was afraid to tell somebody this story for 40 years. I kept it inside. I was embarrassed. I was afraid. I was ashamed. But like I said, you can't choose your parents. It is what it is, and you got to make the best of it. So I never became angry. And they said, "Oh no, the world did this to me, and I did this." No, I just said, "Okay, I'm going to use this energy." And when I trained, I was training. I love training with Robbie Robinson because he tried to destroy you, but I would smile at him. So you never going to say,
Bill Robbie.
"I'm not going anywhere." And he said I was a pretty good training partner because I just relentless. I never said no. I never said I can't. I said I will. I can't wait. Give me the next set. So I'm just trying to advocate for kids that it's okay to tell somebody. Speak up, because no one's listening to the kids today. They're dying of suicide. They're taking drugs, and so it's tough out there. It's tough out there. And I just want kids to know that it's okay. Tell somebody. And another thing they should know is to find a passion in their life. If you have a passion in your life, you're gonna stay focused on that. If you really love it, you're gonna stay focused. I don't know if it's dancing, track and field, boxing, wrestling, whatever it might be. That's your passion. That's what you live for day by day. And like I said, that saved me. That brought me to California. That got me on the world stage, and of course, I was discovered by the great Arnold. But it was just and it was a dream. You got a dream. I tell kids, you have to dream about what you want in life. Don't be a follower. Be yourself. Think for yourself. Get outside the box. And if I know people dance and they're very talented in a lot of areas, but they don't pursue it. They feel, well, I'm going to fail. So what? You fall down, you get up. Just keep going. Like I said, I lost more shows than I ever won, but I kept coming back. And then the last time that I took off, I retired in '94. 18 years later, I came back.
Yes, you did.
And they go, how can this guy come back? I went to Germany, and I was like 20 pounds overweight. I hated bodybuilding. I really did. I was
What year was this? What year was this when you put on a little bit of weight? You kind of pulled back.
1994, I retired after 20 years. And 18 years later, I came back. But what I didn't do in those 18 years, I never missed a workout. So that sustained my muscles. Because if you lay off in a certain age, you're not going to get the size back. But I did. In fact, in Europe, they said, the arms and legs were bigger than before. So I improved in 18 years. So I had all this fat on me, and I'm going, I don't know what I'm going to look like once I get the fat off. I hope that the structure is still there. I hope the waistline is still small. And it was. But once again, I was training for 18 years because I loved what I was doing. I missed my workout. I had training partners. I just didn't compete anymore. So that got me back on stage, and I did a bit of a tour over there, and it was fun. I was back home again. It's like coming home. But when I retired, I was very bitter because of the situation with the IVB. If you read my book, you'll see what I said about it. But it's true. I didn't lie. I don't create stories. I tell truth. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. But it's a situation that then I refused to go away. So I had an option. I could have walked away. So forget about this. No, it was something that I was like living. That was my life. That was my life. The hard work. What's wrong with hard work? People don't want to work. I do. I like working.
I got to stop you for a second because you said some stuff that's hard for me to fathom. You grew up, and the situation of when you grew up was tough, extremely tough, to the point of, again, you could have gone. I could never have heard of you if you went one way, and you could have gone that route, and there was something in you that I don't know if it wasn't put there because of your mother or your father. It was something that was in you that was there, and you didn't let nobody break you, which was a beautiful thing to see. And I just wish more kids today would have that umph, that whatever that warrior inside to go, I ain't gonna let you break me. And I know that's easy to say, and you grew up in such a much. I in no world had a childhood like you did. I just grew up with dyslexia, and so I couldn't read, which is a huge benefit because I believed, like I said, as soon as we started talking, this ignorant bliss that I could achieve anything, and here's come a kid that can't read worth shit. So, but you kept going forward, and it kept you alive through this whole time. What can you say to these kids that is waiting for somebody to come and save them? Relative to nobody came and saved you in a sense. There was years there that you had to hold yourself together. What can you say to these guys out there that are dealing with this kind of hardship?
Surround yourself with people who love you, care about you, and want to see you to get ahead. I mean, be careful who you choose as your friends. I don't have a lot of friends because they flock together. Like a bird of a feather, you flock together. So I very carefully choose who I'm going to hang out with. I had some friends back in the day. I don't know if you know Kent Keene, Kent Keene, who passed away. Very good friend. He was always in my corner because he saw the stupid little kid from back east. He knows nothing. He's not. I was so naive when I got to California.
We all.
I had no friends. I grew up with no friends. I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody. So when I got to LA, I was like, I didn't even talk. If you knew me, I didn't even have a word to say. I just trained. I couldn't hold a conversation with people. So you just got to find people that's going to support you, that believe in you, that see the potential in you, and keep telling you to keep moving forward, keep going, don't stop, don't quit. Don't, sometimes you get discouraged, oh God, I can't do it. Yes, you can. You can do it. And that's the most important thing. Be careful because people try to bring you down. So the minute you try to get ahead, it's like they're trying to pull you back. They're trying to keep you at the level where they're at.
Right.
But the dream's got to be bigger than, bigger than the world. When I won Mr. America, which the controversy behind that one, when Mr. America in 78, and then I'm walking down Muscle Beach, Venice Beach, and I'm walking on the boardwalk, and I go, God, what do I need to do to become a world champion? And without him giving the answer, I knew the answer. I got to go to work. So I knew that was the answer. I had to work 10 times harder. But that's what I did. I wanted to be the best in the world. And no one's telling you that. This is coming from within. You got to have this built inside of you that you want to be the best. And that means you got to work 10 times harder. Robert mentioned to me once, it says, see that 18-inch arm you got? He goes, to get any bigger, you got to train 10 times harder. That's what he said. So I said, oh my God, really? Yes. But I was not afraid. You can't be afraid. So once you get people around you supporting you and giving you direction, but you have to take it, you have to use it. And you have to be disciplined. Be disciplined on what you do. Pay attention to detail. People don't pay attention to detail anymore. I don't miss a beat because when I go on stage, I make sure everything is on point. Everything I do, every pose, face, hair, clothes, everything's on point. Pay attention to detail.
I got a question.
Find a sport that you love. People love to sing. Okay. You love to play football. Okay. Whatever that sport is, or whatever that singing or dancing, whatever it is, find the passion and you live it. You just live it for the rest of your life.
Could you talk about the 78 competition for a moment?
Yes.
and the controversy and all that kind of it surrounded. I think if I'm correct, it was 78 and 79. It was
70, for me, it was 78.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so what happened? 77. I went for just real quick. I went to compete for the first time on a national level in Nebraska for the Junior Mr. USA. And I thought, yeah, okay. And I got my butt kicked. I came third in my class. So that trip back to LA was really gut-wrenching for me. And I realized, man, I got some work to do because those guys look phenomenal. This is a national stage. Who am I going to beat? So I went to work. That's what I did. Went back to Gold's Gym, Santa Monica. And then, if you won Mr. LA in those days, that's a big deal because a lot of those guys turned pro too. So I won the LA. That year, I won the Junior Mr. USA, Junior Mr. America, and Mr. America all in the same year. I went to work. I went home, shut my mouth, and got to work with my training partners. You just gotta. So it just
And you were a pup at this time, if I'm correct. Was you 22 at that time? Is
it
that
was 20,
correct?
it was 21.
21.
Yes.
21.
Yes. So you just go. It's just crazy. Just go back to work. That's all you could do. What can you do? At the America, Ron Tufo. Ron Tufo, they thought he was the favorite to win, and he was. He had all the cover of the magazines because there's no internet, no computer. You pick up a magazine every month. He's on the cover. He's on all the covers. He's got articles in the magazine. So I go, okay, so what is my chance? I just trained hard. I did the best I could do. I think my body, I was starving so hard that the last 3 weeks I would lie in bed and I could feel my stomach touching my backbone.
Yep.
I felt that feeling. It was painful. I think I was in the best shape ever. I was beyond cut. I was the biggest guy. But on stage, see, Sean Ray calls me the master illusionist because I look big on stage, but not in real life. So I got in great conditioning, and I said, just go and do the best you can do. I didn't have any publicity, even though I had 2 junior national shows. I didn't get any publicity from it. We the magazines. So we're on stage. I win my class. Like 20 guys in my class. So I win the class, and then Manuel Perry, Manuel Perry, he won the tall class, and Tufa won the short class. So we're all standing there at the end of the night. There's a packed house, 5,000 people screaming their heads off. And the judges says, he called my name. So I'm so exhausted. I go, oh, okay, I must be third place. And Tufa was going crazy next to me. He was jumping up and down. He was screaming. He was yelling. He was slapping himself upside the head. I won't say what he was saying. Said rip off with bad words in the middle of it. And then I realized I won. I won. That's what I said. But I think a part of what helped me win was you had 1 minute to pose. So I came on stage and had curtains back in those days. I'm going through the routine, and the MC said, thank you, Tony Pearson. Thank you. And I continued to pose. So they closed the curtains on me.
Oh my gosh.
So when the curtains reopened, I was still posing. Because my pose for 1 minute and 45 seconds, I said, I'm not going to leave this stage. I rehearsed for an hour 45. That's what we're going to do. So I finished my routine. And I think that gave me a little bit, because everybody has emotions and they're human beings. The crowd went crazy. It was insane. It was pandemonium. So I think that helped a little bit. I just continued to pose. And then the pose down with Ron Tufo. If you go online, you can see all the pictures. It was toe to toe. Staring at each other in the eyes, hidden poses. He's pointing at his calves. I'm pointing at my thighs. I'm showing my waist. He's showing his quads.
We have to put photos up of this. We have to do this. This is great.
It was just a battle from the head to toe. Just once again, I was loving it though. I was having fun. I'm really shy off stage. I'm an introvert, but on stage, I enjoy the stage. I enjoy being on stage. It's not because it's not being cocky or arrogant. It's just I'm having fun.
That's your moment. That's your place. I hope everybody picked up on what was not said. What was not said was just because the hype was around somebody else, let's say for that time, the internet, the magazines and everybody was hyping up this other person. It didn't make you quit. It didn't stop you from what your purpose was. And I think that might be bypassed by a lot of people, like, well, yeah, great for you. You won the show. No, what he did was he kept preparing for that show, and he was starving. And I know the whole stomach to your backbone feeling at night. I don't know if you guys ever dieted so hard to where, you got no more fat on your body. So there's nothing there for your body to go to. There's no more calories because you already trained twice and crushed it on squat day and went back and did it. It's like your body's eating itself, it feels like.
That's exactly what I felt.
And you didn't get up, and you didn't go to the refrigerator, and you didn't cheat, and you didn't stop, and you got up the next day and did the same thing, knowing that night you're going to be feeling the same way. And you kept fighting, and you were so driven, full circle, name of the book, the movie, everything, Tony Pearson. So you were so driven that you just kept going regardless of the hype, and you're like, I'm going in, I'm knocking out the champ, or at least the world's champ at the time, going, I'm the champ. And I think that's freaking awesome.
I appreciate that. I wasn't really thinking about him because, you know, he trained at my gym. He was training at the same gym. We was in the same gym every day. He flew to California. He trained at Gold's Gym. So he's across the room from me in the same gym. So we were looking at each other from across the room like that. But I never thought about him. I just said, I just got to get myself ready. I thought this is going to be about me. You know, I can't control what's going to happen. Of course, he looked phenomenal. I said, but I got to be better than that. I got to figure out a way to be better than that.
But isn't that a metaphor for life?
Yes.
You couldn't do anything. You can't sabotage him. He's going to work out just as hard as you.
Right.
He's going to train for it. Yeah. He's got the hype behind him, but you can't worry about that shit in life. And this is that, I don't care what sport you do or what business you do. You can't control that.
No.
All you can control is how you're handling stuff, how your mind is working. Are you sabotaging yourself, looking over at him going, oh, sheesh, he looks really good. I'm going to get my ass kicked.
No, I was just inspired by that. Thank you. It's motivation for me.
There's got to be more of that in this world.
Yes, absolutely. Because people are
on my show, and I know that we're talking about competing, but I think that's a metaphor or an analogy, if I'm using it correctly, an analogy for life and how people worry about other people. And they spend so much time worrying about that person or this person instead of just going, kid, if I can just focus in on myself and get another couple hours to stop thinking about them and do the work, I might do pretty well.
I said it all the time. Stop worrying about what other people are doing, what they're thinking, what they're saying. Just focus on you. Be the best that you can be. So I go to the show, win, lose, or draw. I'm going to say I did everything that I could do. It's out of my hands. And every show I competed in, I did everything physically, mentally, getting myself prepared for it, posing that I could do. Win, lose, or draw. I go shake the guy's hand. He beat me. Okay, I shake his hand. But I'll be back. That was my famous line. I'll be back.
I think this will be so beneficial to everybody that's watching this, and it doesn't matter what age you're at. At some point, the information that you're going to receive next is going to help you at some point. I hope it will help you in some point in your life, and you guys have a long, enjoyable life. The 18 years that you took off, you said something. You only took off stage.
Right.
But you kept the homework going. You didn't quit on yourself and what you created. You didn't stop. How can you teach that? Or what can you say to these people out there that go, oh, I stopped for a year. I stopped for 5 years. I stopped for 10 years. How can you say something that will trigger them, if you can? I haven't figured out a way for them not to stop that portion of it. I don't care if you don't play football or don't dance anymore, don't sing. Keep the healthiness in the body.
Right. I'm stunned when people tell me that. I go, what? You're a professional bodybuilder, you're at this level, and all of a sudden don't want to work out anymore. You know, that means they don't love the sport. That's all that means. They don't love what they're doing. That means that, to me, that's lazy. They're just being lazy. Or when people have to say, oh, I'm gaining size, so I'm eating all this extra food. No, you're just being lazy. You're not working out and you're eating more and you're storing fat. So when you start dieting again, guess what? You're going to lose the fat. You're going to look almost the same as you did before. So it's nothing you can say. You can't motivate them. I don't know why they want to do that. I had friends of mine who've done that. I said, oh my God, he quit? How can you quit? I mean, 18 years, I was like enjoying my workouts. I trained with Fabio. I trained by myself. I trained in Atlanta by myself. I just continued to work out. And thank God I did, because I had no intention of ever coming back to the stage again. When I retired in 94, 20 years is enough. I'm done. Because they wanted me to get bigger, and I go, I can't get bigger. I don't have the structure to be bigger. That means if I get bigger, my waist's going to get wider, and then I'm really done. I was known for the really 29, 30-inch waist, and that's the illusion that I created on stage. I knew my body. I knew who I am. I know if a bigger guy, like Lee Haney for one, he's massive, he's cut, he's shredded. I'm a miniature of him. You know what I mean? He's bigger. So I'm never beat Lee Haney. So I got to be the best that I can be. And Samir tried to go against Haney, and his waist got a little bit bigger. You got to keep the waist small.
Yeah.
That's the illusion. You're an illusion under those bright lights when you're in shape, and
Yes.
how you present yourself. If you know how to hide your flaws and make your waist look even smaller or your back looks wider, that's the illusion. That's how you're gonna win. So you never take off. You never quit. Just, I mean, I couldn't, like today. I just can't imagine myself said, okay, I'm never gonna compete train again. I just can't imagine that. I mean, it might be twice a week or 3 times a week, but I'm still going to the gym.
I got a question for you. If let's remove bodybuilding from the scenario, and you did for a portion of time, you did remove it. When I'm speaking about these people and keeping them going, did the 18 years of you not competing but still training, did that help you stay healthy as an individual? And as you go into your 50s and 60s, did that keep you healthy and at least moving and enjoying life to a quality that most people probably don't enjoy in their 50s and 60s?
Yes, absolutely. You got to keep moving. The body's designed to move, to work out. It was something I've done for 20 years. How can I quit? My body is crying for it, it's begging for it. I mean, I know when it's time to go to the gym. You just feel I got to go to the gym. I mean, mentally, physically, everything. You just know I got to go to the gym. I'm not going to kill myself, but I'm going to go to the gym. But the problem is when I go to the gym, the light comes on. I'm back to the old school, and I don't know when to back off or slow down. I'm learning that. But you know how you start pushing yourself. Oh, this feels really good. Get a couple more sets, put some more weight on, and like, what am I doing? But no, you got to go to the gym, maintain your physique. I mean, it just becomes a party, dude. It's just you wake up in the morning, you look at yourself in the mirror, and go, oh man, I could never do it. I never could do that. I mean, at 63, I won the universe here in Vegas. So I mean, that was the last show. My body said no more, which is in the documentary, by the way. If you watch the documentary, you would see the pain and the suffering that I was going through to make it to that last show, that last time up there, because I had retired twice before. So this was the last comeback. So it was a lot of work. I had a pinched nerve in my neck. I couldn't flex. I said, I go on stage and I wing it. But I still could train, but I couldn't do the flexing part. And my knee was hurting. And then I had fat on me. I quit twice. And I said I can't do it. I can't get the fat off the waistline. I'm 63. It's not happening like it did before. I had a super fast metabolism before, not anymore. And then I looked in the mirror at myself one day and I said, "You have never quit before, and you're not quitting now." And I said it out loud. And that got me back in the game. So yeah, I won the show, and then and you'll see in the video where you can tell how beat up I was. You could see it. It was just like a tired old man. But I was in top form. My posing was still there. You know, after 18 years, I forgot how to pose. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? I didn't know how to pose anymore, and I had to reteach myself. It came back pretty quickly, you know, with one transition to another. But that was work too. You know, it's just to be a bodybuilder. It's a lot of posing, training, sleeping, dieting, eating, traveling, all these things, and it never ends. It never ends. It's like it's an ongoing show. But you don't think twice about it because you're doing what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
There's another work. You travel around the world, you don't care. 18-hour flights, so let's go. You know, when you're young, um, you go on stage, you pose, you guest pose. Now, every time I guest pose, I wanted to be in the same form as I was if I was competing. For one, I don't want to let down the promoter. He's promoting. He brought me over, so he's expecting me to be as I looked in a magazine, and I guarantee I will be that. And you know, you pose and show up in the best shape. You do seminars, show up in best shape as possible. You know, that was my, and plus I didn't want to embarrass myself. I don't want to go on stage and those pictures are everywhere. Taking pictures immediately. Like the last show I did, I go, before I get off stage, this is going to be on social media, Instagram, Facebook, right away, before I even get off the stage. So I said, I better go on shape, because what happened when you come out of retirement and go on stage, they're going to compare you instantly. They're going to take the old pictures and the new, put them together, and there it is. And I didn't want that. So it's very risky.
Yeah.
Taking a big chance to come back because your name's on the line. But I always managed to come back looking okay. No one can talk. They can't say anything. Am I as big as I was before? Probably not. But I was just as cut, and the posing was still there.
Let me ask you this then. As we look at you today, how do you feel health wise, body structure, and that kind of stuff? When you wake up in the morning, how do you feel today that you do to your 63-year-old self? Do you feel like you're healed up a little bit? I learned a little bit more at this stage on
Well,
how to train at this stage,
yeah, I'm 66 now. I've got a birthday
right?
coming up very soon. Uh, it's hard to say that number, but yeah, a little bit achy in the mornings. Like, okay, the knees talking to me, the lower back's hurting a little bit. Okay, then once I get going, I'm okay. Training, you got to modify things. You just, the upright rows and dumbbell pullovers. A lot of things you just got to take out, even dips, because dips mess with my shoulders. Not doing dips, but I know what to do. I know how to train around it. I can still get the same results. Muscle memory too. I've been training for so long; it doesn't take much.
How does it help you with being and teaching people? Because of the fact that you've trained in your teens, you've trained in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. So you continue to learn how bodies function, how you function, and how you work around things. And so if somebody comes to you and, hey, I'm this age, you can go, I know how to get you to where you need to be because I've been there myself. Don't you think that's beneficial?
Yes, I can help my clients a lot because I have experience. They come to me because, man, they go, you of age, and I think you should know I have injuries, I have this, I have that. And I go, we can train around it. We're going to figure out a way that we can get the chest, build the chest, legs back. I got my client's like, what, 70? He's doing squats. He never squatted a day in his life. He's not squatting heavy, but he's squatting and he's doing deadlifts, and light weights, but good form. I'm really about form, and Robbie taught me that one. And I've zoned in on that form a lot more because when I went to Europe and came back, my client said to me, "Oh man, your training is even better now than before you left." So I went to Europe and worked on myself. Everything I do with my clients, I tried myself. I feel it. I know what they're going to be feeling. I know where they are. And instinctively, you learn your clients. You can see if the last rep is there. I can tell you when the last rep's going to be there. I can see that he might hurt himself. He might do this. So you just said it. Everybody is different. Every client is different. You got to really pay attention. You got to pay attention. Same with me. I got to pay attention to detail. I just got to make sure I'm not going to hurt myself. And everything's control. I have to say, if you don't mind, that I've told so many people about you and your training. So they're running, trust me, they are checking you out, posing and training. I go, that's the guy, total control, isolated, and extremely heavy weights. So go watch him. And they're watching you. And I said, because he trained with Robbie, and it's the same style, it's the same intensity, but everything's precision, precise, control, and mental. I can see it. So that's
I appreciate that coming from somebody that means so much to me on my journey. So I thank you for that. And I agree with everything you're saying too. I think it's, I always kind of laugh at the youngster that says, throw all that out, just get the weight up and you're good to go. And I'm like, wow, okay, good luck with that, man. We'll see you in 20 years. So I love
Thank you. What they don't understand is you're gonna age. It's gonna catch up with you.
Mileage is mileage.
Yeah. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I felt great. I was like dancing around. I had no itches. But then when I passed 55, that's when it started. The reason it started because it's just wear and tear on the body. You train it twice a day, every day for 50 some years. Of course, it's going to fall apart eventually. But not that because my form was bad. It's just wear and tear. You're doing sets and reps, and the dehydration and the posing, all that adds up. I mean, it takes a toll on your body. So it's not that my form is really good. I'm very precision on everything I do, and my clients too. So when I'm not with my clients, I know they're okay because I know they know what to do. And when they don't know, they go, Tony, I was off a little bit. I hurt my back. I hurt my knee a little bit. I goes, yeah, So you know what to do because, yeah, I know, I got to correct it. So I teach my clients everything they need to know. I don't just say, give me 10 more reps. I tell them why you're doing the exercise, why you're doing the reps, and this is how it's done. And mentally, you have to be connected. If you're not connected, you're wasting time.
I
Don't
love that.
rush through the workouts. Don't rush through the set.
I love
Time.
that you said that. You got to be connected. It's we're
Yes.
different. However you are outside of the gym, when you're in the gym, it's still a tussle. It's still a fight, and respect the weight and treat it
Thank
like you
you.
should.
Thank you. You better
Yeah,
respect the weight.
you start thinking that you're above everything, and when that
No,
weight's in you, it's
no, it's going to
we're
get
one
you.
injury away from ending. And so I love it.
Absolutely. Going into the gym is like a fight. You're going in to fight the weights. Who's going to win today, the weights or you? And I always say to myself, I'm going to win. You're not going to beat me. So every rep that I do is precision. It's on point. Every rep, every set that I do is on point. You're not going to beat me because the weights will destroy you. Training heavy over you. I see online, I see these guys tearing the pecs, tearing the bicep, tearing this muscle, doing this and this. And I go, just a matter of time, just
Yeah.
a matter of time. And mentally, I can see they're not even there. I can look at my gym across the room and I watch people work out and I go, his mind's not there, her mind's not there, it's somewhere else. They're doing the exercise, but they're not
They're
there.
not in the exercise. See, I love that you get to, and again, like you, me, and Robbie, I can have that talk with you because you get that, you understand it, and yeah, I'm just a mimic of what you're saying, or an echo of what you're saying. Is you got to be in a fight in the gym, respect that weight, and be in the set, not joking about what you guys did the night before and this and that while you're getting ready to squat.
Thank
It's
you.
like I know it seems like it's a little much for maybe a lot of you out there, but it's just we're trying to keep you safe and at the same time try to get some kind of benefit from going to the gym. And it's like you said, we could look around the gym and you could see a majority of them are disconnected. They're thinking about something else. They're listening to music and doing whatever they want to do relative to when I'm doing a set, I'm watching Robbie. When Robbie's doing a set, I'm watching, we're talking, and it's a
Yes.
different kind of dance, I guess you could say. But
Yes.
that being said, nutrition wise, I would like to touch on this before I let you go today, because nutrition, where is that on the importance of not even bodybuilding, just health? Where is the importance on nutrition and controlling and doing what you need to do? And is it not? Is nutrition, who cares? Calories in, calories out, eat whatever you want, enjoy your day. What is your take?
No, nutrition is very important, especially as you get older. High blood pressure, all kind of things, cholesterol. Your body's designed to move, keep working out. You got to keep moving. Nutrition is very important. You got to have proper food, 3 or 4 or 5 meals a day, small meals, low carbs, high. If you're not competing, protein, but the carbs are low. The carbs are always low. Alcohol, I say forbid. No alcohol, period. None of my clients drinking. Of course, they do. This is Vegas. And I go, whatever. I don't hear you. But yeah, nutrition is very, very important. Diet. It's not, I wouldn't say diet, just eat clean. You're not going to be 100%.
Yeah, good catch on your part. Thank you.
Yes, quality food, real food. Get away from junk food. I mean, what benefits are you getting from junk? Because sugar, watch out for the sugar, too much sodium. I'm from down south. I call it soul food. Get off the soul food. So it's I've been on the diet. I lived on chicken and rice my whole life. I'm still living on chicken and rice. People laugh at me and say, "Man, are you sick of it?" No, I don't even think about it. I have yams, chicken and rice, a little bit of red meat, egg whites. Still the same. Nothing changed. Because I think what happened is your body's going to reject it when you eat away for so long, and then you start putting all this bad stuff in. Your body's going to reject. Hey, we don't want this.
For you, it is a passion, and you got lucky to do something that you really truly love. And I agree with you that we're feeding the machine. We're feeding the machine, and we're not feeding the mental state of the machine. We're feeding the machine on what it needs relative to feeding our minds, going, I need to have pizza today. I need to drink some alcohol today. I need to do this. What are you feeding? Because it's not for your body. That's definitely for your mind to comfort you and give you a security blanket because you feel bad today or something like that.
Yes, that's all that is. That's all it is. It's not building muscle. So, I've been dieting my whole life. Now, when in the beginning I had such a fast metabolism, I could get away with it. I mean, I would walk into a meeting before a show, competition, competitors meeting, eating carrot cake in front of the guys.
Jeez Louise.
And I go, guys, you want
That's
some?
carbon up.
They go, man, we hate you. We've been living on the fish and water for how many months? And I go, I'll see you on stage. That was in the beginning. I was doing a super fast metabolism, but of course it's slowed down now. But I've always eaten clean. I just can't eat the junk food. I mean, why so much junk food? There's no benefits. That's how I am, my character. What benefits am I going to get out of this? Everything I do, what is the purpose of doing that? When I lost a show, I never went back for the same show. I just moved forward to the next show. I don't go back. I don't back up. Just keep moving forward. I question myself, why are you doing this? Why? It's not going to help you. You train hard. So now when you go home, this is the most important part. I was training here in the gym a few years back, and I was leaving the gym, and I flexed my abs to the guy at the front desk. He goes, man, oh my God, look at your abs. What do you do? How did you get that? I go, I starve. And I walked down. I'm starving.
I got a very important question to ask you. There was a time where you fell in love with your passion, and there was times where you got to go through this journey and you enjoyed it. And then there became a moment, and correct me if I'm wrong, there became a moment where it went from your passion to your financial benefit to where you were making a living. And then something happened that made you possibly go, okay, I don't like this no more. I'm done here. I'm going to move away from this. And then something happened. You left, and then you came back to it, and you were in love again, and you found the passion again. Am I kind of right on not precise, but is that kind of how it went for you? And what was it that made you not leave? I understand when you turn something from your passion into your financial, it might go to that hardship, and they take that love away from you. But how did you find it again and get back on stage? What was that? What was that moment, and why?
Well, I went to Europe, and I was going to get involved with some vitamin company, and kind of fell apart. So I went to a bodybuilding show. I'm sitting in the second row. After 18 years, I'm sitting there, and the lights were so bright on that stage. And I said to myself, I would never be on that stage again. 1 year later, I'm back on the stage. I don't know. When I retired from bodybuilding, I had a lot of injuries. If you read my book, I talked about that in detail, that I was crippled. I couldn't walk. And just from training from twice a day, just really, really torturing myself all those years. I just went through the pain. Yeah, I was hurting. Who cares? Got a show to do. So I went through the pain. Then I retired, and I was in a lot of pain. And I gave up bodybuilding because I couldn't train anymore. I couldn't squat. I could not put the Olympic bar on my back and squat it. That's how bad off I was. And then I met this massage guy, and he did a lot of work on me, taking away the scar tissue, because you have scar tissues in your muscles. In the old days, you didn't stretch in the gym. You don't stretch. Back in my days, stretching, get the fuck out of here. They're going to throw you out of the gym. So it was just, the first set, that's your warm-up set. Good. Now you stretch. Let's go. I mean, that's how we trained back in those. I never did any stretching. No one else I saw stretching, and just training. So it destroyed my body. I retired, and then at the very end, the guys were getting bigger, and there was whispers in my ear. You need to gain more muscle, more size. And I said, no way. I'm done. We're good. That's it. I'm injured. I'm not going to put on extra weight, try to get bigger.
Right.
And it was time to go. I just knew it was time to go. When it's time to go. And I was bitter. I was very upset, very bitter. You know, I had hopes of being high, placed higher in Olympia, never made it. And I said, I won a few world titles here. I'm good. Thank you. And I was very bitter. There's a video of me talking about that, how I felt. So this guy who worked on me, taking away the scar tissue, and it took a long time, but to the point where I said to him one day, "You think I'm ready?" And he goes, "What? To go back on stage?" He goes, "Yeah, you're ready."
Sounds like he took more away than just the scar tissue.
Exactly. He took the pain away. Yes. But it's kind of like a Rocky moment. You're ready. You're ready for the fight. Go back in. So yeah, that was good. That was motivation for me that I was able to function again. I was unable to function. People
Yeah.
don't realize what we put our bodies through, because when you hit the bright lights on stage and the show is fantastic and they think it's fun, it's exciting, but behind the scene, man, there's a lot going on. It's a lot.
There's a lot.
But like I said, you gotta love what you do, because you're gonna pay for it, or you're gonna be injured, or you're not winning shows. There's a lot of things you gotta be said. Okay, if you lose, don't get upset. Just go work. So it was good coming back, making a comeback, and I'm at peace now. You know, I came back and won a couple of shows in my later years. So that was good. It was a nice closure, I think. But I didn't have a closure leaving. It was better because I was with the WBF, the World Bodybuilding Federation, and that was a big issue too, coming back. So to the IFBB, and had to deal with that. That was not good, and the money ran out. It's been a roller coaster, man. It's been up and down. If you read my book, you can watch the documentary, which is great. They did a fantastic job putting it together. It's an hour and a half long. It's not that long. And we went from Memphis, St. Louis, Vegas, and went to George Turner, where it was his gravesite. So they did a very good job putting this thing together. But if you read the book, there's so much more detail about what really happened when I was a child, what my dad did, my mom did, my auntie did, how I survived. I don't know how I survived. I have no idea. But I always felt there was a spark in me. There was something in me that was driving me, forcing me, making me. Because when I told my sisters, this in the book, when I told my sister that I'm going to California, she said, "What do you mean? You don't know anyone out there? What are you going to stay? What are you going to do?" I go, "I'll figure it out when I get there." And I said, I took a one-way bus tickets, which meant to her, I'm never coming back. I said, I'm never coming back. This is it. I'm going one way. It's called live or die. That was my motto. I'm going to live and die in LA, one of the two. So that I said, I'm going to LA. I'm going to be a bodybuilder. Sure, you're going to be a bodybuilder. Everybody, no way, you're not going to be a bodybuilder. So I got on the bus, made it to LA, made it to Muscle Beach. Went to Ghost, and they threw me out of Ghost Gym. So I got thrown out of Ghost Gym because I couldn't buy a membership. Hey kid, get out of here! They walked me to the door and kicked me out. So I went down to the weight pen, Muscle Beach down there, and that's where I trained. I trained at Muscle Beach almost every day. So that was part of the dream. It was a dream. It was just a dream. Was I afraid about this dream? When you're young, you're not afraid of anything. You think you're invincible. And I go, I'll figure it out when I get there. Who says that? 19 years old, $75 in your pocket. Don't know. I didn't know anyone in California or LA or Ghost Gym, but I had seen them on television. I remember seeing Arnold on television in 1974, ABC Wide World of Sports. It was Arnold, Robbie, this French kid, this other guy, Serge Nubret. I saw them and I'm like, oh my God, bodybuilders. Wow, man. Like a kid. I can't believe that. Whoever thought that I would be one of those guys someday? I didn't, but I had a dream. I was dreaming about it. And George Turner, back in St. Louis, had a guest post at his show. And I'm sitting there watching it for the first time on this guy on stage. They had a spotlight. And for every time the spotlight went out and came on, he was in a different pose. And I said, man, that is art. That's what art is all about. He looked amazing. The spotlight was on point. The house going crazy, and I go, man, this is what I want to do. When you're there, you can feel the energy, you can feel the vibe, and that's what really motivated me. And then, but Arnold on TV, he was smiling when he was winning, and you could see it. Said, "Oh my God, this guy! No, he's got it." so, so I got to California. You know, Arnold discovered me. I have to say that on Muscle Beach, and so, but his words really pushed me forward, because once you get to LA, you kind of get a little like lost. So I'm trying to survive every day. What am I going to eat? Where am I going to sleep? But then when he said, "You're going to be a great champion someday," that was the light. That was the wake up call. And then I really focused on bodybuilding. I was had a can of tuna fish and coffee to eat for the day. Don't ask me how I gained muscle, but I did. I was having chips and donuts with the fast metabolism, and I was still muscle size, because you know he wrote in his book I was squatting like a madman, 10 sets of weights, 1,000 tons of weight. His legs was getting bigger each week, and then he went on to win the world championship with Mr. America. So I don't know. I don't know how. It was just a dream, but you got to have a dream. If you don't dream big, you're just not going to go anywhere. I hear people says, "Oh, I'm living the dream today," and I go, "I want to go. What dream are you dreaming?" You know, you got to have a dream, but you got to think outside the box. You got to think big. If you don't think big, you're not going to become big. I just tell people that. I tell my clients. I tell people. So many guys come to me, "Man, I want to be a bodybuilder." I said, "This is what you got to do. You got to have a plan." I didn't have a plan. I was just winging it. Everything I did, it was just, I'm going to get to California. I took my graduation clothes back to the store to get the money to catch the bus to go to California. I mean, I'm just that determined. And then I was, you know, if you live in the Midwest in those days, going to California was like going to paradise. You know, St. Louis, all those those states there. So I just couldn't wait to get there, and it was everything I thought it would be. It was everything and more. I said, "I'm never leaving this place." A couple of years later, I'm gone.
You're gone. Well, that being said, man,
wherever life took me, that's where I had to go.
And we can see this both on Generation Iron Has Driven, and we can get your book. And I'm going to make sure that everybody here knows where to get this and where to watch.
So Amazon, you can get it on Amazon and Apple TV. Yes, so that's yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's been such a roller coaster.
Well, we got to do this again though. But we got to do this in person. We got to get a training in. I'm going to be coming to Vegas. Where are you at now? You're in Vegas still, or
I'm still in Vegas.
All right, yes. All right. Then we're going to do this in person this next time. We're going to sit down, eat, train, and talk some further, because you got so much knowledge that I want to just suck up and give to the world here. And you've got so much, again, one of the true legends of in my opinion, of health and fitness and bodybuilding. And I just thank you so much for taking time today, my friend.
I thank you. It's been a pleasure being on your show. Awesome, man. Awesome.
Keep doing your thing, and we'll see you in Vegas here in another month.
Okay. Yep. Give me a holler.
All right, my man. Take care today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.